Pamela!
Yes, Ryan.
I'm putting together a snack list for the Super Mario Brothers movie. What do you want? So far I've got gummy bears, Twix, extra large popcorn with M&Ms, Swedish Fish, Whoppers, and nachos!
Oh, wow. I think that might be more than we need.
Well, that's just for me.
Oh, right. We'll toss a large popcorn on the list for me. But before we go to the movies, we have a little work to do first.
Game on!
I'm Pamela Kirkland.
And I'm Ryan Willard. It's Tuesday, April 11th.
This is the 10 News.
Here are 10 things you need to know.
Processing.
We're starting off with a shout out to some cool kids, aka the future leaders of America, who are standing up for what they believe in. In the wake of the most recent school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, students across the U.S. are joining together to demand action against gun violence. The organization Students Demand Action is leading school walkouts across the nation, calling on leaders to make changes to gun laws to protect them and their communities. If you have questions about gun violence, we did a special report for you and your grown-ups. Part 1 is for the grown-ups and Part 2 is for you. Check out the link below in our show notes.
While students were walking out, grown-ups in Tennessee were walking into the State House to protest against gun violence. Tennessee has some of the most relaxed gun laws in America, where guns can be carried without permits. 3 Democratic Tennessee state representatives, Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson, led the protest and disrupted proceedings. Afterwards, the Republican-controlled State House of Representatives voted to basically fire Justin Jones and Justin Pearson from their jobs as lawmakers because they were protesting gun laws.
I don't personally want attention. What I want is attention on the issue of gun violence. But instead, we're here with a resolution you put up talking about expelling me for advocating for ending gun violence in the state of Tennessee.
This has only happened 2 other times in Tennessee state history, and President Biden called the move undemocratic.
Monday, April 10th was National Sibling Day. It's a day to celebrate the special bond between brothers and sisters. Even if your siblings do things that annoy you, like hiding your video game controller, eating all the peanut butter cups, or reading your journal, they also look up to you and watch out for you. Remember to tell your siblings how much you love and appreciate them. And if you don't have a sibling, you can still celebrate with the friends who are like siblings to you.
High five.
Ryan, what'd you do this weekend?
I ate 74 Cadbury mini eggs.
That sounds about right, because this past weekend was a holiday weekend for many. The 10 News is wishing a happy Passover and happy Easter to all the tenors celebrating. Passover marks the Jewish people's escape from Egypt and into freedom, and Jewish families share a special meal during the Passover Seder. Easter is a Christian celebration of Jesus' resurrection, famous for egg decorating and Easter egg hunts. Happy Passover and Easter.
Woohoo!
We have some good news for trans student athletes. The U.S. government is making new rules to put an end to bans on transgender students playing sports. President Biden proposed a law that says students can play on teams that match their gender identity. This means transgender students can now play sports without discrimination.
Way to go!
But some LGBTQ+ organizations are criticizing the bill because it gives schools the option to make their own restrictions in certain circumstances. NASA has announced 4 astronauts who will be part of the Artemis II mission in late 2024.
Launch sequence activated.
Although they won't be going to the moon's surface, this mission will take them on a trip around the moon, and they'll make the closest visit to the moon since 1972. The crew is Reed Weissman, a naval aviator and test pilot who spent 128 days in space aboard the International Space Station, or ISS. Victor Glover, a pilot with 3,000 hours of flight time in 40 different aircrafts, who has also been to the ISS. Then there's engineer Christina Hammock, who has spent a record 328 days in space and has done 6 spacewalks. And last but not least is rookie Jeremy Hansen, who has lived on the ocean floor in an experiment simulating space exploration. The 4 astronauts, 3 American and 1 Canadian, will work together to make sure the mission is a success. They're paving the way for the 2025 mission to the moon's surface.
Being an astronaut sounds so cool.
I don't know, Pamela. I'm a little scared of space.
Because it's so big?
Because it's probably got aliens. Oh, big news from the Star Wars celebration in Europe. Lucasfilm announced 3 new live-action Star Wars films. One of the movies will go back to the dawn of the Jedi, another will close out the interconnected stories from The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, and the last movie will take place after The Rise of Skywalker and will feature Daisy Ridley as Rey as she rebuilds a new Jedi Order.
Well, back on Earth, Big Dairy wants to change the fact that Gen Z doesn't drink milk. Surveys of Gen Z suggest the younger generations don't like the environmental impacts of dairy milk. They prefer the many dairy alternatives made from plants. So, the dairy industry is trying a herd of new advertisements to show how milk is good for us and the environment. They're partnering with influencers and Twitch streamers and rebranding milk as a sports drink. What do you think? Are you a fan of milk? We want to know. Call 877-10-NEWS and leave us a voicemail. Do you drink milk? And here's something else you can put in your fridge. In Japan, vending machines are very common. There's one vending machine for every 23 people. But for the first time ever, there are now vending machines that sell bear meat. The meat comes from wild bears caught by hunters. Some Japanese people are happy because bear meat is a delicacy that's now more accessible. But others are upset because Asian black bears are considered a vulnerable species. There are only 15,000 left in all of Japan.
And the Super Mario Bros. Movie had a huge opening weekend. Some fans are calling it the most fun they've ever had in a movie theater.
Let's go.
Critics are not impressed with a score of 54 from critics on Rotten Tomatoes. But for Mario video game fans, there are plenty of Easter eggs. For tenors who don't know who Mario is, he and his brother Luigi are plumbers who find themselves transported to another universe where they battle Goombas and a dinosaur named Bowser, all the while making friends with Princess Peach, Toad, Donkey Kong. Oh, and you have to remember to jump over the turtle shells.
Will Mario say, "It's-a me, Mario"?
I guess we'll find out.
Yahoo! That was 10 things you need to know.
Check out tomorrow's episode when we celebrate Autism Acceptance Month.
I'm Pamela Kirkland.
And I'm Ryan Willard. Thanks for listening to the 10 News.
Data transfer complete.
Hey, it's Ryan Willard. For those of you that love trivia, we wanted to recommend a podcast that we think you'll really like. The Ultimate Fact Off. It's a family audio game show. Check it out.
Welcome to the Ultimate Fact Off, a podcast stuffed full of surprising facts where clever contestants battle it out to out-fact the other. It'll tickle your brain cells and leave you ready to out-fact your friends with your fact-tastic knowledge.